None. But they gave you 80% of the money to buy the property. Who gets all of the gain? You do. Is that a cool deal? Now, we have bankers in the room, so we're not going to hit too much on this today. So, here's what leverage is: the use of credit or borrowed funds to improve one rate of return. So leverage is something that will help you increase your rate of return. See, if I kept, the example I just gave you was 5-to-1 leverage, right? I'm controlling 5 parts of real estate for 1 part of cash. $50,000 is controlling $250,000 worth of real estate. If that real estate goes up 5%, what's my return? 25%. Right? Because it's magnified by the leverage. That is why, one of the reasons why real estate beats the stock market, because there's not leverage in the stock market. All right, another reason, cash flow. Cash flow is a good thing, right? We like cash flow. In fact, we like cash flow to be positive. And here's what happens. When rental income exceeds expenses and debt service, so you take more money in than goes out, you have what we call positive cash flow. Who likes positive cash flow? Yay! All right. Now, positive cash flow isn't all it's cracked up to be. I'll talk about that this afternoon, because there's some great strategies that involve break-even or negative cash flow. But positive cash flow is eventually what you want to get to, right? More money at the end of the month, not more month at the end of the money, right? People come into our consultation. Here's one of the things people like to say. Well, I'd like to get to a point where my passive income from real estate meets or exceeds income from my job. Anybody relate to that? Wouldn't that be good? That'd be good, right? Yeah, you can applaud for that. Do you know when I like to wake up in the morning? When I'm finished sleeping. Not when my alarm clock says I have to get up and go to work and go to a meeting, right? In fact, I like to order my dinner without having to look at the right side of the menu to see how hungry I am. Follow me in that? How many of you like food with your meals? Yeah. So cash flow eventually is a good thing. We want to have property that provides cash flow. Bob's $4,000 a month, $4,000 a month, $4,000 a month. What's going to happen to that $4,000 a month? $4,200, $4,200, $4,200, $4,400, $4,500. It's going to continue to go up. Now, guess what? It used to be more. It's come down a little bit because that property is here in the Bay Area, but it's still $4,000 a month. So cash flow is pretty good. What else? What about tax benefits? We talked about that before, but your government is going to give you incentive to invest in real estate, and they do that through a host of means. All right, so last benefit we'll talk about is that real estate has a simple financial model. I told you earlier I invested in Cisco. I'm not really sure what they make. And I sure don't understand their business model fully when it comes to where the dollar's going, all that kind of stuff. But here's what I know about real estate. It's got a simple model. Rental property is easy for everyone to understand. Here's how it works. People live in or work in your building and pay your rent. Do I need to cover that again? That's the financial model. People live there and they pay you rent. And everybody understands that. It's not difficult to understand the financial model. Some investments are so convoluted and difficult, it's hard to figure it out. All right, now let's talk. We talked about the past a little bit, right? In the last 60 years, there's not been a single 10-year period that if you had bought at 1 year and sold 10 years later that you wouldn't have made money. In fact, here in the Bay Area, how much does property go up in 10 years? It about doubles in value. About doubles in value. In the last 20 years, it's gone up 10 times in value in the Bay Area. Ooh! But that's long term. If you bought here in 1989 and sold in 1994, how'd you do? Ow. Sorry to put salt in the wound, right? Not very good. You could have lost money in real estate. But if I bought at the very peak of the market in 89 and sold in 99, how'd I do? Really good. My property went up how much? It about doubled. But what about the future? Is the past an indication of the future? It's an indication, but it's not the only indication. Can it continue to go up? There are people right now who live in the room, who live in a $500,000 house, who can't even imagine someone paying $1 million for that house, right? The people that bought that house when it was worth $40,000 couldn't imagine it being worth $100,000. In the Bay Area, you have an advantage because you see how expensive real estate can get. You can go buy a brand new house in some areas, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, third of an acre property for $180,000. Tile roofs, air conditioning. I'll show you some of those in our case studies later today. And you go, wow, that's cheap. And it is compared to what, right? It'd be a long commute. How many of you know people that commute over 2 hours because of their job here in the Bay Area, right? They commute over 2 hours. I'm sorry, my time's more valuable than that, than sitting in the car. Ugh. But long-term will property go up? It will go up, and here's why. Real estate will continue to be a good investment, I think, for a lot of reasons. First of all, rents will continue to increase. We know rents will continue to increase because the population grows. Do you know in the next 20 years we expect there to be 50 million more people in America? Those people will have to live somewhere. Do you think here in Silicon Valley, capital, information capital of the world, will they be able to create a technology that eliminates the need for people to live under shelter? I don't think so. I think we're always going to need a place to live. And what about household growth? The number of households is going up, and the size of households is going down, right? There are less people in households. We have 2.3 is the average now. That's headed down more 0.2 because we're going to have more single-family, more single households, more one-parent households, those kind of things. And then income trends. Overall, as Americans get more educated and productivity increases, there is more income in the economy. Also, I think rents will continue because second homes are becoming more and more popular, right? Timeshares to start with. Now, a timeshare is not an investment in real estate. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. And in fact, I'll sell you one later on. No. If you ever want like a crash course in sales techniques, go to one of these free timeshare seminars. It's absolutely amazing. But a timeshare is a prepaid vacation. So it's not an investment in real estate. It's a prepaid vacation. But second homes are expected to triple in the next 20 years. People want to have multiple homes. Now, of course, Ron's going, yeah, I'd like to have 3 times as many homes as I have. But because you like to go places. So we don't like to rent anything. We really don't. We have a car that we keep in another city because we like to be able to fly in there where and go to the long-term parking and get the car and not have to like rent a car and stuff. Because we just have this aversion to paying rent, and so we have a house in that city and those kind of things. And people will continue to do that. Also, what about the echo boomers, right? Baby boomers, a lot of you are baby boomers. The next generation is coming up, and guess what? A lot of renters are on the way. A lot of first-time buyers are on the way. First-time buyers drive up the prices, and we know that Americans don't have a lot of confidence in the stock market. Can the stock market possibly provide the income for people's retirement that we all need? It can't. Do the numbers. So more and more investors will be turning to real estate, which is good for you now and means in the future might not be as good because there'll be more competition for properties. But I've talked a lot about real estate. I've said a lot of good things about real estate. I'm very positive real estate. Can you tell? Now, full disclosure, I have to tell you, not everyone thinks real estate's a good investment. In fact, let's look at what some of the experts have said. Like experts like people from the media, or like people who are forecasting what's happening. Here's what some of the experts say. The prices of houses seem to have reached a plateau, and there is reasonable expectancy that prices will decline. That's what Time magazine said. Houses cost too much for the mass market. Today's average price is out of reach for 2/3 of all buyers, according to Science Digest. The goal of owning a home seems to be getting beyond the reach of more and more Americans. Business Week. The era of easy profits in real estate may be drawing to a close, Money Magazine. And if you're looking to buy, be careful. Rising home values are not a sure thing anymore, the Miami Herald. So the media isn't sure real estate's a good investment. But look at when these statements were made. I am really glad I didn't rush out in 1991 to buy a bunch of houses. That would have been done. In 1947, houses cost too much. When they said that, the average house price was $8,000. $8,000. Not 80, not even 800, right? $8,000. The experts agree that. So here's what you have to be careful. Who are you listening to? Are you listening to people that are making their income and providing wealth for their families by investing? Or are you listening to people who make their money selling magazines or selling books and tapes? I think you should get your real estate investment advice from someone who invests in real estate, not from somebody who sells you the information so you can maybe go invest in real estate. Follow me on that? Mark Twain said it best. He said, don't wait to buy real estate and wait. I'll see you guys later. Thank you very much.